Welcome to Gray Overload. I'm Anthony, and one thing I wanted to talk about was AMD's looks is basically saying that they're going to commit to the AM5 socket past into 2025 plus. Now, there was a statement, and Overclockers UK actually had it from Dave McAfee, the AMD corporate vice president and general manager of client channel business. And he was saying that they are, basically going to stick with that socket for as long as possible in a nutshell. And I think that this is, their longevity roadmap of where they've been for their AM4 socket and how long that has been to the AM5 socket is a really good um, commitment for users that are buying into their platform. And that if you're building a computer and you look at to upgrade at all, you are buying into that platform, right? And so you might not ever upgrade it, but even for me, more and more lately, I actually look for upgrading at least a CPU, GPU in that cycle that I have the motherboard and everything. And with that, I think that one thing people like me look for, or you know, you're looking to build a computer is, hey, do I have that longevity? Do I have an option to get another cycle, at least of a CPU into that platform? And I see this on some of my videos, and they're commenting like, they're looking at comparable processors, AMD and Intel, and which platform do I go to? And a lot of times it depends upon where you are in a cycle that you might want to suggest if one's just not blowing the other one out of the water, right? They're comparable in this instance. Well, in this cycle, right, it looks like, Intel is done with their current 700 series socket. Looks like they're going to be going to a new socket here for the next, I mean, that's what the rumor is anyways, where you've gotten, basically two gens. You got the 13th, or you got the 12 and the 13th/14th gen out of that platform. Now you're moving on to the next one. And while Intel's trying to get that third processor out of that gen so that AMD doesn't have quite a bit of a leg up, AMD going through and you having Ryzen 1, 2, 3, 4, out of, well, Ryzen, what was it, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, and 5,000. Thanks, AMD, for skipping numbers. So those processors out of their AM4, you got Ryzen 7,000, and then hopefully 8,000, and 9,000, hopefully out of this next generation too. Now with that, you have 3D V cache, you have, the if you're looking for like a GPU model, so they're higher end graphics on it, they do have their, Zen 4 and Navi, they're going to have together finally in their more APU side, even though AMD's, all their CPUs now have a little bit of graphics chips on them. At least, they might have these ones, or they will have these ones with a bigger GPU on them. I think that's a good move, kind of like their laptop APUs. But you have this bigger window then when you buy into a platform to say, hey, there is an upgrade option for me to go down the line. I like to see, companies committing to it. I get that there are technical aspects to this that can become an issue later on. Something that you may need more pins for power data, whatever else, may come down to it of being, we did not foresee this being happen. We cannot continue down the same socket. So we have to get a new socket, whatever AMD wants to call it, probably AM6 or whatever else. But on that side of things, being able to say, I am committed to the socket for as long as possible. Right now, it looks like it's going to be beyond 2025. That is a great option for users that want to buy into the platform. You look at AM4 today, they got the 5600 X3D last year. Now, will AMD launch any more X3D processors for that, or any more processors for the AM4 platform? I don't know, but if you wanted a upgrade, you still have that option if you're on anything prior to the 5000 generation on the AM4. And if you are in that and you use it for gaming, you still have access to the X3Ds that do a pretty good job on the gaming side of things on that AM4 platform. Now, if AMD does something like that, currently on the AM5 platform, I think that people that are going to buy into it are going to be rewarded, and they're going to be very pleased. And so when they're looking at the next platform, what platform is going to have the longevity? Am I going to be able to, be able to upgrade to, at that point in time? I'm not talking about the people that are just going to go buy a new computer every single year, have that money to throw at the fastest machine all the time. I'm looking at people that, and I'm talking about people that are like me. I don't have the money to do that, but I want to be able to have, some longevity, maybe an upgrade here or there as the money comes in to be able to upgrade, and then be able to go on and say, oh, this was a great, I was able to get this little bit more performance on the same motherboard, maybe you upgraded your GPU, and you were trying to minimize your cost as much as possible. And I think this is a very good option for AMD to be able to go out there and kind of confirm, because there were some mixed reports about how long they would actually support it, how long that they would actually go. And hopefully now that we can actually get to a, maybe 3 CPU cycle for, what it was, 1000, 2000, 3000, and then the 5000 series. Maybe they can do that same for, 1000. Maybe you get like a Zen, what was it, Zen Plus, which is a little half upgrade or something in there as well. That is a upgrade cadence that I think that a lot of users would get behind and would be okay with. And as long as AMD can bring the performance to compete with Intel, as well as, the um, as well as having all the support there for BIOS updates and everything else, like they have for the AM4 series, they're still getting updates, they're still supported. This is all things that grow into a community that wants to support and or have support for the products behind it. And I do like to see, that side of things. So hopefully we can see, um, hopefully we can see this hitting more and more platforms. Hopefully Intel at some point takes a hint and says, yeah, we're going to start doing maybe 3 generations, and not the 12th gen, 13th, and the 13th plus gen, but a actual generation improvement each time. Really enjoy to see that. I really would like to see that, because that is supporting the consumer that is buying into your platform. I get it. Motherboard companies don't like it because they don't sell as many motherboards, but I think in the end, as motherboard company, as you show that support, people are going to buy into certain motherboard companies on how their support is, and as long as they're doing a good job, they're going to have to fight over that side of things. I get at some point you do there's technical requirements you do have to upgrade, and there's people that still upgrade a motherboard here and there within that cycle, so you'd still get that, but you do have the option then where people are, I still get people on some older motherboard videos, looking at them and items, looking at the BIOS, versions and stuff, after they bought a motherboard that is an older, AM4, or even the some of the older Intel ones I've done, and they're still buying into that platform. So they're still getting sales by that, people buying in, knowing that they can upgrade, even if it's not right away, update in the future, have a feasible computer just to be able to get into gaming or get into building their own machine. I think that's a good option. And I think if you build that relationship of there's long longevity on upgrading with an AMD processor or with an Intel processor, these manufacturers, then when it comes down to motherboards, people are going to choose on which company is kind of having that support to support their customers that buy into the platform. And I think if they were to build that relationship, motherboard companies, as if they have longer generations, they might not sell as many, but more people will be behind them, supporting them, putting, hey, I bought this system, because of their support. I think more people will jump on board with that. So with that, let me know what your thoughts are on AMD's whole talk about their longer or 20 for 25 plus support on AM5. Do you think that it will include Zen 6 processors, or do you think that that is um, it will only be up to Zen 5? I really hope not. I hope it's Zen 6 at least. And do you think that there will be a there'll be maybe even a Zen 7, or when do you think that AMD is going to move on to the next generation? So I thank you so much for helping this channel and growing this channel. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. It really does help with the channel. And until next time, God bless.